You know, life has a funny way of smacking us in the face when we least expect it. Like a waiter dropping a soup bowl right when you think you're on top of the world. That's Derek Turner's story. Once a bright-eyed kid with dreams bigger than his modest block, now he's serving at a fancy restaurant, trying hard to keep his head above water, while the wealthy Alana Pierce, his former best friend, laughs it up with her privileged crowd. Alana, with her designer dresses and perfectly manicured nails, never thought she'd end up face to face with the kid from the laundromat, the boy who once shared her lunch and listened to her wildest dreams. But here they are. It's ironic, really. She's living in a glittering mansion while he's cleaning up after her spilled wine, biting back memories of their simpler days when they really were inseparable. You'd think she'd remember Derek still does, even if it hurts to recall the laughter echoing in their old neighborhood before life separated them. He remembers how they spent summers rolling pennies for ice cream and wondering what it'd be like to escape. And now, as Alana rolls her eyes at not having the perfect steak tartare, Derek's reminded of the weight of her gaze, how it used to inspire him. And now it feels like the very thing that shatters him. But sometimes life serves up second chances in the most unexpected ways. So let's dive into this tale of redemption where old wounds and new beginnings collide in a way neither of them could have ever imagined. The evening had started like any other, plates clattering, laughter mingling with the faint notes of jazz, but it quickly unravelled into something I had never anticipated. Standing in front of Alana, I felt the walls of my reality close in a tight, suffocating grip as she tossed a flippant remark my way. "Really? How hard is it to serve soup?" she scoffed, her voice draped in disdain. I forced a smile, but inside a storm brewed a tempest of disbelief, anger, and sour reminders of our past. "Hey, it's been a while," I managed to say, trying to keep my tone light as I set the bowl in front of her. My heart pounded as her laughter echoed in my ears, a cruel melody that transported me back to simpler days. Days before I lost everything, days before her family moved away and our friendship turned to faint memories. The laundromat where we'd shared dreams was now a ghost in my mind. As I took a breath, pulling out a worn photograph from my pocket, I felt a mix of fear and hope. "You remember this?" I asked, holding it out. The image was faded, but the smiles on our faces were vibrant, bursting with untainted joy. Alana's expression shifted one moment of recognition, and suddenly the weight of our history hung heavy in the air. "Derek," she murmured, disbelief lining her features. You can't be serious." I could see the cogs of her arrogance begin to falter, but it didn't matter. Her privileged life wasn't just a contrast to mine. It was a constant reminder of every late-night struggle, every eviction notice, and the hurt that had settled like ash in my heart. "It's me," I said, my voice steady but brittle. "But what you don't get is that your laughter hurts. It echoes in places you don't even know." And then I watched as that laughter faded, replaced by something else. A flicker of realization that came far too late. In that elegant restaurant amidst the clinking glasses, I could feel the tide of disdain shifting. In just one moment, everything changed. The mask Alana wore cracked, and beneath it lay a girl who had forgotten what it meant to truly care. But I had learned not to break, not to let this define me. I wouldn't quit, not now, not ever. "All right, let's get real here." You know that moment when you think you've hit rock bottom only to discover there's a basement beneath the basement. Yeah, that was Derek. Picture him standing there, bowl of soup in hand, heart racing, part nostalgia, part desperate hope. He thinks maybe Alana remembers. And then she sees the photo. The two grinning kids, no worries in the world. Cue her eye roll, because of course wealth cures all ignorance, right? But Derek, he's got that flicker of determination burning deep in his gut. It's the last couple of embers left in a burned out campfire, but it's still something. But then, oh, the obstacles. The initial shock quickly turns into laughter from her friends, the kind of laughter that echoes off the walls like an unwanted guest. Who does this guy think he is? They cackle. Public doubt can be a real party killer, especially when he's standing there dripping with humility, trying to rebuild what's shattered. Each chuckle feels like a nail in the coffin of his self-worth, not exactly the reception he was hoping for. And let's talk about rejection. He tries again, approaches her after the restaurant clears out, but she's busy polishing her diamond tiara, completely oblivious to the cracks forming below her pedestal. Excuse me, Miss High and Mighty, but I'm more than a forgotten waiter, he thinks, and you can almost see the cartoon figurative steam coming out of his ears. But here's the joke, because life loves irony. Instead of pulling a sword from a stone, Derek feels like he just keeps getting shoved back into that stone. Yet every moment of adversity chips away a little layer of his frustration, revealing that stubborn little seed of determination. Because deep down, he knows rebuilding from zero means bruises on your ego. But maybe, just maybe, it's worth every ounce of struggle. It's the storm before the breakthrough, folks. And spoiler alert, storms might soak you to the bone, but they also clear a path for growth. So what if he fails? What if he gets pushed back again? Perhaps it's just a wicked plot twist before the grand finale. And trust me, nobody leaves a story without a fight. Alana stumbled back from the encounter, her heart racing. How could I have forgotten? Her world, once a tapestry of shimmering privilege, felt suddenly frayed edges unravelling. Echoes of laughter from past summers tugged at her memories, tangling with regret. She watched the busy restaurant around her, the joyful clinking of glasses, and light chatter now suffocating. In a spiralling moment, despair crashed over her, a wave rising too high. Derek, the boy who used to laugh at her silly jokes, now stood beneath her shine, hidden in shadows. He had become a mere waiter. But what had she become? A facade of finery, a hollow shell. She felt the heat of shame prick at her skin. Was this the girl she wanted to be? The one who laughs while someone else cries? No. Something shifted. A quiet ember glowed in her chest, a flicker of strength beginning to rise from the ashes of her anger and entitlement. I need to find him. Diving out of the restaurant into the brisk night, she felt alive. Each step pounded her guilt into the pavement, marking her determination. And then, as if the universe conspired, she learned Derek was with his mother in the hospital. She rushed there, heart pounding against the cage of her chest. What could she say? How could she bridge the chasm of years? But in the quiet solitude of the hospital, a surge of empathy opened her heart. She didn't just want to apologize. She wanted to understand. This was bigger than them, bigger than mistakes. As she stepped into the sterile hall, the sterile walls faded into nothing. Instead, she felt a pulse, hope, strength, and a burning desire to reconnect. And with her resolve ignited, she whispered to herself, "This is just the beginning." The hospital walls echoed with a mixture of sterile silence and the faint sound of distant beeping machines. Alana stood at the threshold of room 307, her heart racing as she replayed Derek's words from their last encounter, a heartbreaking reminder of her past arrogance. The guilt nestled in her chest felt heavy, but something had shifted within her. A new determination surged to the forefront. With each step, she felt the weight of her privilege as a shackle, a burden she longed to shake off. As she entered, Derek looked up, surprise mingling with wariness in his eyes. The air crackled with unspoken history. It's good to see you," he managed, but the words felt unbalanced, a juxtaposition of their earlier selves. Softly, Alana replied, "I'm so sorry, Derek, for everything. I've been a fool." Her voice cracked, and she swallowed hard, shame washing over her like a tide. This was not about her. It was about acknowledging the hurt she had caused. As he listened, she shared her plan to not only help with his mother's medical bills, but to partner with him in his dream of opening a new laundromat, a place where they could lift those in need. "Let's call it Second Chance Laundry," she suggested. "It's about more than just cleaning clothes. It's about cleaning up our past mistakes." In that moment, Derek's surprise melted into cautious hope. They sealed their new agreement with a handshake, a simple act that held more weight than any contract could convey. It was a moment of healing, encapsulated in warmth and shared vision, not just for them, but for a community that had been overlooked for too long. As they stood side by side, determination reflected in their eyes. Alana felt a quiet smirk cross her lips, a subtle acknowledgement of what they had both achieved through their struggles. Success wasn't simply measured in profits or status. It was earned through humility and connections that transcended their past. Yet beneath the triumph lay scars of their different journeys, a reminder that while success had come, the discomfort of their histories remained. But together they were ready to embrace it, crafting new narratives that honored where they came from. The journey wasn't over, and neither was the need for redemption. But with each step forward, they found strength, knowing that every ounce of effort made the scars they carried worthwhile. As we conclude this journey of transformation, we must pause to reflect on the intricate dance between power trust and forgiveness. Alana once wore her wealth like armor, believing it would shield her from the messy web of human connection. But, as Derek reminded her, true richness comes not from bank accounts, but from the ability to acknowledge our pasts and the people who shaped us, for better or worse. What Alana learned, and what many struggle to internalize, is that revenge rarely leads to satisfaction. Instead, it's in humility and understanding that we discover our greatest strength. We live in a world where revenge can glimmer like a tempting golden coin, a quick fix to the hurt we've endured. But is revenge just a twisted form of justice? Or is forgiveness the real path to healing? As they stand together, Alana and Derek remind us that the road to redemption is fraught with challenges, yet it's a journey worth taking. Their new venture, Second Chance Laundry, is not merely a business, but a testament to second chances, both in life and in friendship. So I leave you with this. Is it our failures that define us? Or is it how we rise from them? Reflect on your own experiences. Have they led to a deeper understanding of those around you? Or have you clung to past grievances? Share your thoughts in the comments below. After all, it's in sharing our stories that we glean the most profound lessons about compassion and grace.